That weak version of yourself, it's not the real you. It's a facade, a mask you've been wearing. The real you is strong. The real you is capable.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Grand Masterful, rich, beautiful, rising on this beautiful day, guys. Let me, voila, magic. Oh, man. Oh, man, oh, man. Today is a Friday. Happy Friday! Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Yeah, man, we are here again with another one. Yesterday we got into the 3 laws from the book The Richest Man in Babylon, and it was a good time, man. It was a really good time. Today, I think I am going to highlight a couple of perspectives on principles and the laws of money that I think we should all know, man. I think we should make it one of those things that we get familiar with, you know, as a community. I went throughout life really and didn't really understand the importance of knowing the nature of money. I thought it was simplistic than what I knew, right? I knew that there was some science to it, but I didn't know there were laws that governed it. I didn't know there were principles about money, you know? And yeah. Speaking of, babe.
Yeah.
Can you make sure you bring that Vaseline up in here? Okay. Thank you. Yeah, so hello, Grand Masterful Rich, rising on this beautiful day, Mr. Legend. I love the name, man. Mr. Legend, all 9999. Oh, it was 3 nines, not 2 9. Nines are very powerful, man. Nines are very, very powerful. That's an awesome name you picked there. Hello. Hi. Yeah, man. So today's conversation is going to be about just giving you the awareness of the principles and the laws on money. What I didn't know. I didn't even know money had principles. I didn't know money had laws. I didn't know they had divine laws either, right? I just thought money was money and you got to manage it. I knew a little bit about like investment, but I didn't know the procedures. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to multiply money. I didn't even know that it was supposed to be a thing, you know? But, you know, it does. You know, it really exists. And can you do me one more favor too? Can you bring that tablet as well?
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for dropping in. Thank you guys for giving the love. Thank you guys for, you know, just checking us out, man, today. We hope that you guys are having a fantastic day. We see you being, doing, having all the good you desire. The reason why we get on here pretty much Monday through Friday is to, you know, create a community, do the work of God, man, and, you know, be of service, right? You know, it's sometimes hard being of service. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't even lie to you. I think that's why a lot of people don't want to be of services sometimes. You know what I mean? For those who can relate, I think that's why some people don't want to be of service, because they know it's a lot of responsibility. But I think when you realize that it's so important, and you realize that your journey is more than you start to really grasp the bigger picture. Start to really be like, you know, it's not really about me, right? Like, obviously I wanted it to be some form about me, but like, yeah, it is about me as far as in like making sure that I'm good mentally, physically, and spiritually, making sure that I'm aligned and that I understand the authority, and that I check in with the higher power. I check in with my king, And, you know, I get my assignments, you know? That way I know what I'm doing, and I'm not just on the earth trying to figure it out by myself. When that was never the intention. I think I think we
What's that? How much after it?
I know, right? I think that we are taken advantage of because ones that know that we are here for a bigger purpose. That we are here for a massive intention, right? Most people, you know, the ones that know, I feel like they keep it from the mass society, and that's why so much work and so much effort goes into boxing the cities, the countries inside of a perspective, right? Of living, advertisements and things like that. Because whatever you expose to within a certain radius is what you know, right? It's really all you know until you've expanded your radius of position in the world, right? Meaning, like, you didn't know that this was on the west side of that city until you went over there on the west side of the city, because all you knew was the east side of the city and everything that was over there on the east side of the city. It's crazy because you think that by us being so powerful as beings that we would, you know, not be so easily molded because of the environment, but the environment has so much to do. That's why I said I didn't know about principles I didn't know that money had principles. I didn't money. You know what principle mean, guys? Let me read this. Let me read this comic by Marty McFly. It says life is about taking chances and making moves. Absolutely, Marty. You are already coming in dropping flames. It's not about what you did, it's what you do. Absolutely. Build on what you got and learn from what you've lost, and never let anyone distract you from being you. Then I think I want to add a little bit more emphasis on being you, right? And being you is knowing that your source, the essence of who you are, is beyond the physical realm, right? And I mean, like, that you are part of something bigger than you, right? I mean that you, as a being on the physical playing field, understand that there is more than what meets the eyes on a non-physical playing field, right? And let me explain. I'm gonna go back and explain the principle aspect. Prince means first. Why? Because when you have a king and he has a son or whatever the case may be, right? He's first in line of the throne. So prince means first, right? And then principle means first law, right? So I didn't know this at one point, right? That's why I say seek knowledge. So in this point, I'm going to be sharing with you some principles, right? Meaning first laws, and some universe divine laws, you know, kingdom laws on the nature of money, and understand that the love of money is the root of all evil, and that's why it's very, very important for you to understand the position of money and that you are the master of it, and it not being the master of you, because you basically do whatever the money wants to say, or does whatever. What's the best way of putting this? Like, I've watched people get checks and stuff like that, and they're working a 9 to 5 and things like that, and when they get paid, they have these affirmations of, you know, I don't have enough, and, you know, basically they come into work and all they have is the paycheck and to pay the bills. So in this perspective, yeah, in this perspective, they're allowing the money to dictate and do. They're allowing the money to lead, than them leading where the money should go, right? What the money should do. And this is the point where I'm wanting to, like, draw the line and make sure that people are putting money in check. God made money personal for a reason, right? Money can be made a god over the devil. or over Lucifer, right? And the reason why is because money is way more personal than he, right? There's only two things that's supposed to be personal in your life: the connection with you and your creator, and the second one is money, because money is it is a source of flow. It is a source of currency. It is a source of exchange, right? It's a source of flow, right? And when you operate in a kingdom, or when you think about a kingdom,
What's happening?
the expression of a king is his wealth, or his overall territory, or the overall expansion of his kingdom, which requires wealth, right?
Yeah.
Because then he has people, he has many citizens within his kingdom that he has to take care of, right? If he's a righteous kingdom, or if he's a righteous king,
Yeah.
right? If his whole goal and desire, man, dude,
What's the matter?
you already know. It's good. It's better, but it's still like, Anyways, so yeah, long story short, I'm gonna give you the first one, right? Which is point number one is God owns everything. Okay. Never think that you are the source of money, right? You have the source within you to attract it, right? Because it's gonna. That's why it's able to understand that you are king, or understand that you are the master of it. It knows the position that you stay. It knows the position that you occupy, right? So God is the owner of everything. I'm gonna give you the first principle. First principle says we are stewarders, right? Not owners, right? Everything we have comes from God. And you want to grasp the concept that you're not here to own anything, because in reality, you don't own anything. You have possession over things, but possession is temporary.
Right.
When you grasp the concept of possession is temporary, you start to have less detachment on things. You're never supposed to love the things. You're supposed to like things. Enjoy the purpose of them, right? I love when he says all these things shall be added, but only first as you are maintaining the focus of seeking the kingdom and all of its righteousness and all of his righteousness. And the kingdom is the essence of being a citizen, how the kingdom works, the agenda of the kingdom, the interests of the kingdom, the position of the kingdom, all your rights as a citizen, right? And from there, all his righteousness. How do I stand in right authority, or how do I stand under right authority of the king's laws, or under the king's decrees, right? To be a great citizen. And so I'm aware, and I become intimate, or understanding the king is the source, right? He's our source, right? When you are dealing with kingdomship, you're dealing with a king that owns you, your family, the house, the food you're eating, all of it. Everything on the land that the king owns all belongs to the king. You have no possession, right? Unlike in America, where we have possession. You think that you buy a house, and then you discover that you bought the house, but you didn't buy the land, so you technically, legally don't own the house, right? So you have to go through a whole continuous things to even own the land, right? And you have to understand that that's the goal, is to get the land first, because if you get the land, then you actually own the house on the land.
Yeah.
Right? But you see how this is more of a strategic awareness approach when you're dealing with a capitalism state.
Yeah.
Right? There's no kingdomship and understanding that the possession is not yours. We get here and we like, yo, I bought that car, I paid for it cash, it's now mine because I got the title and everything, right? And it's like, what's mine is mine, and yours is yours. And it's like, there's a lot of dividance. No one understands that. None of it belongs to you, because if you was to purchase it and pay the cash for it today for that brand new yacht, and You took that last breath the same day. I mean, you ain't enjoying that yacht no more, brother. You bought it cash and you can't even go play with it. Dang. That's
Somebody said
crazy.
I'm new.
Somebody said they knew. Thank you for being here, newbie. Yeah. So,
Thank you for being here.
newbie.
I believe you called her.
I did. So yeah. So we just giving out the principles, right? So the first principle of money, right? Because I didn't know money had principles nor laws. First one is that you are the stewarder, right? You're the person who manages everything that the king gives you, right? You're showing your integrity. You're showing the level of skill that you conduct yourself when getting a lump sum of money and knowing how to multiply that money,
Manage.
right? How to manage that money, right? You want people in your group, in your family, in your household to know management. Everybody can agree with me that they don't want somebody. They're like, hey man, let me get 1,000 from you. Let me get 500 from you, man. What you gonna do with that 500, right? And the first question that most people want to know is like, what you about to do with this 500 I'm about to give you, right? And if they could tell you that they're gonna multiply that money and they're gonna make $5,000 from that 500 and guaranteed, you would be very persuaded about giving that 500 if you didn't come from a place of lack or fear, right? Right? It depends on your connection with this individual, but the point is that they show you and they tell you, and you may have trust in them that they can multiply that money from 500 to 5,000. I think you would be more lenient to want to experience what that would look like because you can tell that this person seems to know how to manage and multiply money. And so what I'm getting to point to is that the best interest is when people understand how to manage things, right?
Continue. I'm not continuing anymore.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna give you a scripture that goes with this first point that I was pointing out, right? So we are stewarders, we are not owners, and everything that we have comes from God, right? Already you releasing possession off of you. You release possession, you understand like, yo, you are the source, first of all. I mean, like, I didn't even know about money until I really started focusing about money. Or until I seen parents was talking about money, and that's how I kind of knew about money. At that point, it was just all imagination and playtime. You know, I didn't think about no dang on money. I didn't even know nothing about no money. Scripture that goes with
didn't
this.
care about no
I didn't care. I had no awareness about money. Scripture that go with this. It says the earth is the Lord's and everything on it or in it. So you already releasing ownership. You're releasing possession. And you're giving it to God. You already realize, like, yo, when I did this, dude, because I don't think I was coming from this position at one point. When I really think back and really, like, look on the journey, I was not doing that. I was really operating from a place of its minds, right? Because, I mean, like, why does God have anything to do with money? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And this is how I was thinking because I had not been cultivated appropriately.
I didn't even think that way.
I don't
think I thought that far.
Mm-hmm.
If God has anything to do with money or anything like that.
Right.
I think I was just focusing on life most of the time because that's who I was trained or who I was cultivated to become.
Yeah.
Just like build. I didn't think that far. But money is... You have to be the manager of the money. You're the manager of everything that you have, starting from your clothes, your kids, your dogs, your cats, and your home, your plants, everything that you have, you are the manager. So it's your job to take care of it. And if you don't take care of it, it's gone. Most of the things that you don't take care of, they gone. Even clothes. If you don't take care of your clothes, they gone. They ripped. They messed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to take care of everything. That's why they say we are stewardess, not owners. So you're not owning money, you managing money.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Moving forward, manage money with the mindset of stewardship rather than ownership.
Right.
And that's the nugget for that first point. And if you don't know what stewardship is, define stewardship. And we got Alexa, we got dictionaries. We can understand it from a Latin perspective. We can understand it from a Greek perspective. We can understand it from a Hebrew perspective of
Right.
the origin of stewardship. Like, what does that mean? And I just thought about it as we was talking about it, that we teach our children how to be good managers when we tell them to clean their room, brush their teeth. We're teaching them how to manage their body, how to manage the hygiene, how to manage, their overall physical state, right? Physical, mental, and spiritual state. I have my daughter reading chapter 1 of the Bible, right? And I technically did kind of some of that stuff when I was a kid, but not really. She can read really good. She's only 6, and after she finished the first chapter, I was asking her, and I don't teach religion to my daughter. I teach her the relationship and the awareness of God, and I make her aware that we are citizens of the kingdom of heaven, right? And I don't want to introduce her to a concept of religion when, our master and our teacher and our Lord was not on that wavelength. So yeah, I bring this into her awareness of just getting her familiar with the beginning, getting her familiar with the principles, getting her familiar with the laws, and questioning her on them. I don't want her to just read them and not really grasp the concept. I want her to understand it, and I want her to be able to tell me what she grasps and why it says what it says and what her perspective is about it.
Yeah.
That way it can mull over, right? Second point of the day. Seek first the kingdom. The kingdom is where everything lies. It's almost like when we think about advertisements, y'all, when you think about the Bahamas or you think about Greece or you think about Thailand, China, you don't think about the presidents, the leaders of that country. You don't think about the people who making the rules. You think about the place in itself. When you think about Hawaii, you don't think about necessarily the people. You think about like the place and the destination itself and everything that it has to offer.
Right.
Right? And when you think about the Bahamas or Greece, you look at, man, like Greece has the blue seas, they have the nice layout, they have this white kind of decked out structure of an environment with the houses and the pools on top of it with the distant view. Or when you think about Bali, you're like, man, it's so tropical kind of vibe. You want to go there because everything that it offers, the weather, the look, the aesthetics, the cost of money and things like that, right? Like everything that it can benefit you for. Right. And so the reason why I'm bringing this to a point of perspective is that I'm wanting to adjust your perspective when we talk about the kingdom. And I want you to look at it as though that this is how I perceive when I think about the kingdom, right? I'm like, yo, seek ye first the kingdom. I want to know what it looks like. How's the weather? Like and really, really aesthetically strip and break apart all these things of the kingdom, right? So the first principle is prioritize God's kingdom over financial gain.
What do you think the kingdom is? What do you think it looks like?
Well, in the Bible it describes that it has golden like gates. Everything is like of royal, right? That's why I really got more deep into understanding that we are dealing with a king, right? And so he talks about the carpet, the shaggy rug that lays beneath God's feet is made out of like diamonds and rubies. Stuff that they step on that like most people, that us in society, we awe and ooh over these things, right? Yeah. And they're really like they're things that they step on and walk over, and
I would say like in the United States of America, the form of kingdom is a White House.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what they would perceive a kingdom, because
yeah.
the president
I can
is
see
there,
that.
and there's people who are taking care of the place. There's cleaners. There's supposed to be like servants.
I can see
There's
that.
a person who is the head of the place, and there are people who are managing the place. It's supposed to be pretty much a business. That's the kingdom. Kingdom is a business. Kingdom is like you have a lot of things, you have a lot of money, you have a lot of people to take care of. If you are the person who's taking care of the people as the king and the queen. So
Yeah. I'm gonna give you a scripture. Everybody knows this one. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Right? Everybody knows this one. I focus
because
not on
you say it a lot.
right, and I focus not on all these things that should be added. I really grasp this concept so deeply because it's like if you're seeking already the kingdom. Okay, let me put it in this way. If you're seeking, um, if you're seeking the diploma or the degree
Mm-hmm.
or the master's, or they
Mm-hmm.
saw the degree. If you're seeking the diploma or degree, you're not focusing on the studies specifically.
Yeah.
You're focusing on the end result, which is walking across the stage and acquiring the thing that you went to that facility to acquire. Everything else will come naturally, meaning the business opportunities, the awareness of the job, the whatever the case may be, what you went there for, all comes with it.
Right.
Right, but you're mainly focusing on the degree and the subject. Right, because you know all these other things that come after you get the degree and the subject, all these other things are going to come with it. It's by nature. That's the reason why you're going to go get it in the first place.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And I like using that as an analogy because that's my first time ever using that as an analogy. And that's how I look at the kingdom. It's acquired when you are understanding that you are of royalty already. You are of the royalty family. So for you to ooh and ah over these things that are already added because you are royalty makes it seem like you're outside of royalty, which makes you a commoner.
Right.
Commoner is a word used for the people outside of the kingdom, right?
Like
And
the
meaning that
trolls.
they naturally pour their. You said they what?
Like the trolls.
Yeah, like the trolls are commoners. But yeah, commoner in the state of like people, people outside of the kingdom, the people, the poor people, the religious, all these people who don't, they just living to be living, right? And they don't even get the full vast and the full access of the kingdom's
Right.
blessings, right?
Right.
And so this is what I mean. And if you seek in first the kingdom and the righteousness and His righteousness, the kingdom of God and His righteousness, you start to really detach from the things because they come naturally due to you being of royal, due to you even being aware your position and the authority that you have as an offspring, right? As a royal, as your father is royal.
Another thing we don't do as human beings is we do not align the money with God's will. You just want to do the things that fulfill you because you're the one who worked for the money, but you're not asking God like, what am I supposed to do with this paycheck? Where should I put it so it can multiply for me? You must ask yourself these questions because the person you communicate with is not you, but you at the same time, internally. So you need to speak to yourself, normalize talking to yourself, normalize asking yourself questions like, what should I do with this with this paycheck? Like, where can I put it? I need it to multiply. Yes, I appreciate you for everything that I have, because it's not that you are going through something and you are going to stay there. No, things changes. There's season of you struggling. There's going to be season of you learning from your struggles and becoming a better person. And there's a season of you achieving things over and over and over. And then there's a season of you going back down if you don't utilize those things in God's will, right? I feel like asking the questions and talking to yourself and like, what am I going to do that's going to duplicate and multiply some of the money that I work for, then for me to just like be okay paying other people. When we were listening to this other guy a while back, he said something about people not wanting to, they're like, I'm gonna buy a house because I don't want to rent, I don't want to make my landlord rich, and so on and so forth. And then he was saying that you don't want to make your landlord rich, but you are making the bank rich. But we don't think about those things, right? I'm not saying that we should focus on that. Just focus on doing the right thing, and don't do what other people are doing. Do what you want to do, and what God is telling you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think already separating yourself from the abundant perspective of saying, I don't want to make the landlord rich, but yeah, you live in the landlord's house that you don't own, and the landlord is gifting you the opportunity to be able to stay within that facility and in that home and make it your home temporarily. Makes it an ignorant mindset, right? Makes it a very non-mature mindset, right? It's like, I don't want to make the landlord rich, but you make everybody else rich around you.
I know, right? You buying
How
bags,
many times you done
shoes.
purchased beer, alcohol, you know what I'm saying? All these other things.
Cigarettes.
You know, all these other things. You making somebody else rich. And then not only that, you're going against the whole nature of money in itself. Money is a flow of currency. So how you gonna try to restrict it from one area but yet flow it on other areas?
Yeah.
You making if you ain't making your landlord rich, you making somebody else rich. Right? You making them one step closer to whatever their goal is if they are managing the money correctly.
Yeah.
So to have that type of attachment and that type of possession over money in that way, where you feel like, I'm gonna control where it goes in this way, you know, I don't want to make. That's, to me, is like, you know, you're just not mature enough to understand that you're going to make somebody rich regardless. The flow of currency, unless you really holding on to it and really got that locked down, I don't know how you going to do that. Like, unless you just really living off the land, right? And then, like, you go to work and then you go back to your tent or something like that. Like, then you can really lock it down, I guess, in a way. But your tent is out in the opening, unless you're not in the city. You know, that's a whole bunch of stuff that got to come with that, man. But what I'm saying in regards to that is that the flow of money is just, you're going to mix it. The flow of money is going to go somewhere, right? And you're going to be waking somebody else. You're going to be flowing into them somehow in some way. Right? So to focus on those things, I feel like it's not of importance. And yeah, man, I think I gave you two points today regarding the principles and the laws of money, and I think we're gonna finish up where we left off tomorrow
on Monday.
Yeah, we're gonna finish up. We have about, how many is that?
We have 8 left.
We have 8 left. I think that's a nugget for leaving with today, man, to really just understand. So you basically walking out today with the concept of stewardship, right? And the concept that you don't own nothing, right? And if you could really position yourself and humbleize yourself that you don't own any of these things, you could definitely go a long way. Even if you own a piece of stock and you are a business, you now are a business entrepreneur, right? Because you have shares, you still don't really own it, because like if the stock fell or it crashes,
God can take it anyway.
You can take it. None of that stuff is solid.
Let me tell you a quick story about owning something and falling in love with something and putting all your mind and heart into this particular thing.
Right.
My car. I used to love my car a lot. Okay, especially when it was about to leave. I was in love with that girl, okay? And every time it drives off, if you drive it out, I will stand over here by the door and I will look at you driving. I'm like, shit, my car is nice. And I fell in love with my car. Like, I wasn't thinking about anything. It would just give me that peace, you know? And then after a month or so, I got into a car accident and boof, it was just gone like that. A easy, not a super crash crazy accident. a easy flow accident because I wasn't driving fast. The other person was driving fast, right? And the other person was driving on the wrong lane. It's a long story, but I was just like coming out and just like moving slow, and boom, that was it.
That was it.
So that's how easy things can just leave like that. You can lose things anytime. No matter how hard you can hold on it, you can lose it. No matter how careful you can be with it, you will lose it regardless. If it's time for you to lose it, if you're focusing on that one particular thing, that this is the diamond, I'm just gonna hold into this diamond and I'm not gonna do anything. God gives you that for a reason. So that's why I said earlier, you should ask yourself. You should speak to God and say, what do you want me to do with this paycheck? What do you want me to do with this money that you give me? What do you think? Where do you think I should put this so that we can duplicate this? Because it is not yours. It's for you to manage it, and it's for you. It's the money is there for you to be able to have doors opening for you. And with that being said, we have been here more than the time that we should have been here. So we will see you guys on Monday, 8 a.m. Central. So
Boy.
we love y'all. Peace and love.
Peace, love. Pass that on Friday.
Wow.
Please bless us, prosperity and success of abundance in y'all journey in life. We love sharing and we love talking. So therefore,
We love sharing and we love talking.
We will see you on
and we love teaching. We will see you on Monday.
We will see you on the other side.
Make sure you check. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Make sure you go check out that video over there. Right, that video over there.
No, it's not gonna be over there. But go check out the video
at 7 a.m.
Go check out the video that just dropped at 7 a.m. Today. We're talking about the money mistakes that we have made during the life rigmarole. So go check it and see if you are doing some of those things or you are going through some of those things. Make sure that you let us know down in the comments, and we shall see you on Monday. Peace and love.